Hello, and welcome to another live stream. Thank you for joining me. Let me know how my mic sounds. I'm going to check it on my end. Hello, everybody. How my mic sound? Sounds good to me. Hey, so I'm back at it again. I'm in a content making mood, y'all. I wanted to do a follow up to my last video and talk about Kayla Nicole's response to her dancing with Chris Brown at his concert. She was responding to a lot of the feedback that Black women had. And I found some of what she said to be very interesting. And I want to use some of it as a teaching lesson because she has a typical mentality that a lot of Black women have. And so I just feel like, there are some things that need to be talked about when it comes to this. And I also want to respond to some of the feedback I got under my last video as well. Hey, thank you guys for joining me. Does the mic sound good to y'all? Hey. Thanks for joining me. Okay, so let's get into the first clip. And look, I clipped what I thought was the most important, but definitely go watch the entire video over on Kayla's channel if you want to see it. Because I think it's like 16 minutes long, and we didn't have time to be reacting to all of it. So I just clipped out the most important parts. And y'all know I only do still shots because people like to flag my channel when I use their clips. So, it is what it is. So let me know if you can hear the audio.
One of the most reoccurring questions is, were you randomly selected? And I'm just going to tell you guys the truth, that I was asked very shortly before the show if I would be interested in doing it. But I didn't find out if I was going to be actually the girl until during the show, when the staff came up to the area that I was in and asked me if I would like to do it. And I realize that you guys are asking this because I've seen the discourse and a lot of people are concerned that he's not really picking fans at random, that everything is premeditated. But I want to assure you that that's not the case. There have been several shows where the girls are absolutely super random, and I'm assuming that they don't get any heads up. So please calm down and do not come for Mr. Brown, because he is selecting people at random, and it could be you. So make sure you get your tickets for the next stop of the Breezy Bowl.
So you heard what she had to say, okay? First, Kayla says Chris Brown's team approached her before the show, asked her to go on stage, right? But then she says that Chris Brown randomly selects women from the audience and that it could be you, and that who they choose is not premeditated, right? So basically, she's trying to make it seem like she was just a regular girl being selected to go on stage. And let's just be honest here, we like to read between the lines on this channel. What Kayla is saying without saying, right, is that Chris Brown and his team are selecting women from the audience regardless of skin tone. Because, I'm sure she's been listening to the discussions, right? So she's trying to make it seem like her going up there was just totally random when it actually wasn't random at all. What likely happened is that they recognized Kayla and asked her to come on stage because she is a public figure, right? Yeah, she's advertising for him and everything. And look, I get it, she loves Chris Brown, whatever. This is what she's gonna do, right? But it's like, don't lie to us about what's going on. And this is the part I don't like, and this is why I wanted to come on here and do a follow-up, because like, a lot of impressionable younger Black women are listening to her, and it's like she's not telling the truth. And I just saw a video earlier of Summer Walker on stage with Chris Brown at I guess it was his last show. Over the weekend, the last show that he had. So he appears to be doing what many entertainers do at their shows. If someone famous or well known is in the audience, they bring them on stage to perform with so they can create a viral moment, on social media, right? And since this colorism conversation is happening right now, Chris Brown is about to bring as many brown skinned and dark skinned Black women on stage as possible to pander. and to appease dark-skinned women, like I said in my first video about this. And by the way, if you haven't watched that, make sure you go check it out after this live stream, because I'm not going to obviously I'm not going to repeat everything I said in that video. But this is the game that Chris Brown is playing, and Kayla's kind of feeding into it. And look, if these desperate dark-skinned women and brown-skinned women like Kayla want to allow themselves to be used by Chris Brown to pander, they can do that. But don't lie to black women about what it is. That's the part I'm not feeling. That's the part I don't like. Yeah, I know. That's what I just said, Saphira. Did y'all hear me bring up Summer Walker? He just brought Summer Walker on stage. So he's going to keep doing this. He hears the colorism conversation happening. So he's going to pull as many brown skin and dark skin women up there as he can. We know the game. We know the game. So let's go ahead and get into the second clip.
I posted this caption with the content, and some people were like, girl, it's not that deep. But for me, it really, really is. And I think that it's important for you guys to know where my heart was, where my head is when I do a lot of the things that I do in this life, because I don't take the title of public figure or influencer lightly. And I want to make it clear what I'm trying to influence you to do. Okay? So for me, I did it for the teenage version of me who used to sing his songs quite literally at the top of my lungs in my bedroom with the door closed. Because my Christian mama sometimes, she was a little strict. I wasn't allowed to be listening to all the Chris Brown songs, if we're being honest. But more importantly, I did this for the woman that I am today, a woman who absolutely refuses to be boxed in. And that's really what is important for me to say in this moment, because I think oftentimes as women, as black women, we are expected to be a monolith. We can only be one thing and one thing at a time, and that's it. You're smart or you're sexy. You're funny or you're serious. You're emotional or you're analytical. But the truth is that none of those things cancel each other out. I believe in the fullness of who I am, and all of these parts of me can exist at the same time, and that's what makes me whole. So that moment on stage was really a celebration of all of those layers of me, and a reminder to all of you women out there, to myself, to anybody watching, that you do not have to choose. You can be all of it all at once.
Okay, so it's not that I don't understand what she was saying here. I get what she's saying about black women not being a monolith, black women, not being able to show various parts of our personality and not having to choose one archetype. I actually agree with that. But you can show your various archetypes as a black woman without dancing on stage with an abusive colorist black male. Okay. I don't know about y'all. You can put it in the chat, but I already knew that Kayla Nicole was multifaceted. I already knew that. Were y'all confused by that? Amelia says, Chrissy, do you not get tired of talking about the same things all the time? Seriously? No, I don't. Do you not get tired of coming here listening to me talk about the same things all the time? Seriously? Like, I don't get that. I don't get you people who don't like my subject matter and don't like that I talk about colorism all the time, but you're still here. Like, that's the part I don't understand. Yeah, you don't have to be here, ma'am. There are new people subscribing to me every day, new people who find my channel every single day. So if you feel this is kind of like a class, you guys. If you feel like you've moved on and you graduated from the class, go somewhere else. My channel is for people who just now joined the class, if that makes sense. It's not for the people who already got what they needed out of my message and who have moved on. I thought that was obvious, but I know some people are a little slow, so you got to break it down to them. And now you got to, and of course it's for people who, been here for a while too and that love my content and still want to listen. It's for y'all too, but I do this mainly for the new girls. Yeah, and for women who want to continue to learn, right? And that should be obvious. But yeah, back to what Kayla was saying. I understand what she was saying, right? About wanting to show all of your personality and wanting to show people that you're multifaceted. We already knew Kayla was multifaceted. We knew her as a broadcaster, right? And we've also seen her sexy side through her photos on Instagram, right? We didn't need a dance session with Chris Brown to see her as multifaceted. Her dancing with Chris Brown is actually what's going to make people box her into that Jezebel archetype, because that's what people expect from black women the most. And if she doesn't have, how do I put this? If she doesn't have an equally viral moment that's totally opposite from this, that gives a different vibe, this is going to be what she's known for outside of being Travis Kelce's ex, right? And this is why I wanted to have this conversation, because this is another, I feel like, thing about optics that black women don't understand. This is why I say y'all don't really get optics, because if you did, we would understand that going viral for something like this, it doesn't make anybody see black women as multifaceted. It does the exact opposite. Why does it do the exact opposite? Because it's just going to get them thrown in the massive pile of hypersexualized black woman representation that already exists, if that makes sense, right? And so it's like, I get what Kayla was trying to say, but this is not a good way to show the various archetypes within you. That's not how this works, Kayla. And I also question how much of this was about Kayla, simply showing a different side of herself, and her low key trying to prove herself to the black man and the black community, and maybe this is a reach. Y'all can let me know in the chat if you agree or disagree, but maybe deep down, Kayla wanted to show black men that she was still down for the brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I dated a white man, I'm still down for the brothers, right? Because y'all got to remember, black men have been dragging Kayla for filth. They've been dragging her for filth after Travis got with Taylor Swift. They was already mad at Kayla for saying, she didn't go 50-50 with a man, but they was big mad that she had dated a white man, right? And so, and then, Travis went on that podcast with them, that nigga podcast, saying that he didn't provide for Kayla financially, trying to look good to black men, which to me, that, I don't know. Taylor, I'm not saying that Travis is going to treat Taylor exactly the same way, but Travis is a walking red flag to me. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. And so I feel like Kayla dodged a bullet, in my opinion. But, black men, they were trying to rub it in black women's faces. Oh, he went back home to a white woman, as if that's not normal. He's white. He's a white man. And see, I don't understand. Like, black men, I guess they don't understand that white men ain't like y'all niggas, okay? They like their women. As a collective, white men like white women, okay? So it's normal that he went back to a white woman. I mean, I guess some black women were, there was a minority of black women who were complaining about Travis dating a white woman. But let's just be honest, the collective of black women did not care. The black community, especially the pro-blacks and the hoteps online, they were just exaggerating the number of black women who cared about that, and try to use that situation to try and fearmonger black women out of dating white men. That's all that was about. We all know that, right? We know that's what that was about, right? See, black women, he went back home to the white woman. That means it ain't never gonna work with no white man ever. Like that that was the purpose of black men rubbing that in our faces. We all know that, right? Okay, yeah. So, but yeah, any smart black woman would know that men like Travis are a walking red flag. Like I said before about him in a video from a long time ago, when, this whole Kayla thing was blowing up and stuff. Travis gives me the vibe that he wants a sugar mama. He gives sugar baby vibes, right? So, in my opinion, Kayla dodged a bullet. I'd rather Travis be with a white woman. Do we agree on that? I don't want him to be with a black woman. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. Coco Barbie says, was about to say this, her goal isn't multi-level expression. She desperately wanted black male validation. Yeah, and it could have been some of both. It could have been some of both. Thank you, Coco Barbie. But yeah, I definitely think a lot of it was her, deep down, even if she's not subconscious of this, I think she was trying to prove herself to black men in the black community after they dragged her for being with a white man. Because oh my god, I should have grabbed the screenshot. But remember when she said something about how she felt bad that black men were dragging her because she was always like one of the first people to stand up for black men? She actually said that. So yeah, she's one of these swirlers who still try to, be down for the people. You know what I mean? And it's like, that girl, let me tell you, that's a futile effort. That ain't gonna work, baby. And I feel like she's still recovering from the backlash that she got from being, the ex of this NFL white man, right? Who got with this super famous white woman pop star. And and then you add on all of Taylor's racist fans or whatever. So, she might be turned off white men. You never know, right? And she trying to go back to black men, or maybe she never really discarded them as an option per se. Maybe she didn't. But either way, I definitely think some of it is her trying to prove herself to black men, right? And unfortunately, this is a very common mentality with swirling black women who are monocultural, right? They still feel like they have something to prove to the community, and especially black men. They don't want to look like sellouts to the black community. So they try to prove that they're still down, even though they date white men or dated a white man in the past. But ladies, I'm telling you now that if you date or marry out as a black woman, you will never be as accepted by the black collective as black men who date out. And you need to make peace with that. You need to be okay with that, right? And what Kayla doesn't understand is that black men, they're still going to drag her regardless. One, because again, she's already been with a white man. Two, because she says she doesn't go 50-50. And so, baby, they ain't never going to like you, okay? And now that she was dancing with Chris Brown, they may feel vindicated as black men seeing her with a black man, right? But they're still going to call her a thought. They're still going to say she's for the streets. And they're still going to call her a gold digger because Kayla has a preference for rich men. Right? So it's like, girl, it ain't no winning with these men. Why are these weird things popping up on my computer? Can y'all hear me okay? Yeah, it's not going to work, Buki, because at the end of the day, if you not only down for a brother and you're not willing to go 50-50 and ride or die and hold a brother down, they not going to like you. They don't like you because of your preferences. And this is why, what I wanted to talk about, the whole preference conversation. That is why I can't take y'all seriously with this. Oh, it's just a preference and Chris Brown is allowed to have a preference. And like I said in the last video, he is allowed to have a preference. Like especially when it comes to like mixed race men, I'm not going to be like all outraged about them liking women who look like them. That's ridiculous, right? But the conversation about preferences is very disingenuous because look how y'all treated Kayla and are still treating Kayla for her preference for a white man and having a preference for high earning men and having a preference not to go 50-50. Look how y'all treat black women when we have our preferences. Black women get a lot of flack from the black community for dating and preferring men who are not dark skinned. Let's clock that T as well. Because, and I don't really hear people having this conversation because light skinned men say often that they are picked on by dark skinned men because they are desirable to a lot of black women. Like, is nobody ever going to talk about like the dark-skinned male animosity against light-skinned men? Like, do I have to start making videos like that again? Do I have to pull them out the vault? Okay, because I've talked about that several times in the past. Steph Curry, repeatedly they talk about how the dark-skinned male NBA players discriminate against him because he's light-skinned and he's a good basketball player. So, like, do y'all really want to have this conversation about preferences? Honestly, I don't think you do. But you know what we're not about to do is act like complaining about preferences is only a dark-skinned woman thing. The only reason dark-skinned men aren't complaining more about black women's preferences is because most black women prefer y'all dusty asses. That, cause y'all don't have nothing to complain about. What do you have to complain about? And I feel like nobody is being honest about that. Most black women prefer dusty black men. They prefer dark-skinned black men. So you don't have anything to complain about. But on the rare occasion that black women do like something else, y'all are crying all over the internet about their preferences. So let's cut the bullshit. Y'all are, that's what the manosphere is. Complaining day in and day out about black women liking men with money, wanting providers, preferences, the preferences that black women have. And then you have the black men of the manosphere who are mad about us who have preferences for non-black men. Y'all are all over the internet crying about our preferences. So what do you mean? Didn't we just see the internet have a tantrum over Nicolandria? Lil Yachty said something. And he don't even date dark-skinned women. The black community and both black men and black women were crying over Nicolandria. It came from both genders. And so it's interesting to see black women in particular who are on the internet saying, oh, men are allowed to have a preference. Not everybody has to like you. That's true. And not every black woman has to like or date black men. So why can't you, as a black woman, accept that? Why can't you get over that? Why can't you get over our preferences to no longer date black men? Not every black woman has to like black men just because you do, sis. Now, so why are y'all crying about our preferences? Why are y'all crying about our preferences? And yes, we can get black men just like you can. They aren't hard to get. It's not a flex to get them. We just don't want them like you, and that's okay. Just like Chris Brown doesn't want dark-skinned women, we don't want black men. Get over it. Just like you tell us to do. We don't have to like or date black men. And like I said in my last video, I 100% agree that dark-skinned women need to stop crying about Chris Brown's preferences and begging him and his team to accept them. But I also think that y'all should stop crying about our preferences to date out and our preferences for hypergamy. So I think maybe everybody needs to start complaining. I mean, do we have a deal? But see, I know that they will never stop complaining about our preferences. So what Kayla and other black women who swirl need to understand is that there's no appeasing black men in the black community. So if you're a black woman who dates non-black men, I'm telling you right now, fuck these niggas. Fuck these niggas and their approval. Fuck the community and their approval. You don't owe them anything. And in the grand scheme of things, their opinion and their approval mean nothing. You don't get any tangible benefits. You don't get nothing from their approval. So live your life and be happy. So I got one more clip. Let's listen to the last clip I have from Kayla's podcast. Oh, shoot. Let me know if you can hear it okay.
Thank you all from the bottom of my heart for the amount of love that I have received after this moment. It's honestly been really overwhelming, but in the absolute best way. I think that being loved on publicly like this is certainly new for me. If you know me and my journey, a lot of my media experience doesn't usually come with this level of grace. So I am really deeply, truly appreciative of this. And to see people, especially women, black women at that, view this moment for what it really, really was has been empowering, to say the least. And that was my intent going into it. So it makes me feel very happy and very seen that you guys understand that as well. And I want to be really clear too, that this wasn't like some scandalous new thing that I decided to do. If you are a fan of music, if you're a fan of artistry, if you are a fan of an immersive concert experience, you know that legends have been doing this for years, okay? I was more than elated to be asked to be a part of that. I did have a moment of like, I don't know. Let me call my mom, let me call my manager, and let me send a little text to the homegirl group chat. I did all three of those things before I actually agreed to have this moment. But once I decided to do it, I said, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it 150%. And baby, I did that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Somebody said that she's acting like she just won some sort of prize or something. And thank you, Whitney, for the donation. Thank you. Yeah, brown skin girl says she's acting like she won a Nobel Peace Prize or something. Yeah, it's so cringy. But I find that last clip interesting, especially what she said or implied about um how busting it open for Chris Brown was pretty much her only way to get to feel acceptance from black women and the black community after, all of the bad press she was getting from being with Travis. And to me, that says a lot about black women and black people. That this is what she had to do to be embraced by the black community. And another thing that stood out to me is when she said, I don't know if you guys heard it, but she said that she called and texted several people who asked, to ask them if it was a good idea to dance with Chris Brown on stage. She said she ran it past her mama. She ran it past her manager. She ran it past the homegirls in the group chat. And so I'm assuming they all said yes, right? And so do you see how the dysfunction is so widespread? That speaks volumes to how much black people are invested in perpetuating the black Jezebel stereotype and hypersexualized image of black women. Nobody she ran this past said, sis, that may not be a good idea. Not one person, not her manager, not even her own mama, not the homegirls, nobody. Yeah. So like I said before, everybody thinks, in the black community, especially black women, they're treating this like it's some sort of badge of honor. And, part of me understands because a part of me understands why black women are so willing to participate in this kind of representation, because we're actually rewarded for it. Do you see how Kayla, she's been rewarded for it? Like, black women are celebrating her for it. Like, oh, you did that, sis. You did that. Just like I low-key kind of feel like even with Cardi B right now, a lot of black people or black women in particular are kind of like co-signing that. Which I don't even think, like, if that was a dark-skinned black woman, do you think black people would be co-signing or black women would be co-signing that? Probably not. I mean, I've seen some pushback, but not enough. Not enough. But that's another topic. That's another conversation. I may do another video on that. I don't know how much I really want to talk about it, but yeah. So, but black women and even mixed women who are, monocultural and in the black community, they're rewarded for dysfunctional, degenerate behavior. That's the point here, right? And personally, when I see black women getting excited over shit like this, it just confirms for me that most black women are too far gone. We're too far deep in our low self-esteem. Well, y'all low self-esteem, because it ain't me. Y'all are too far deep into your low self-esteem and self-worth to the point of no return. Because, like, the way this made Kayla feel, how it made her feel so good, like, that just shows you where most of the community is at. I mean, even when it comes to my last video, the number of black women and black men I had to block for cursing me out because I told black women to stop begging Chris Brown to want and accept them is crazy. It's wild. Like, why would you be mad at that? Why would you be mad at me telling black women, hey, stop begging this man. He don't like you. So stop begging him. Stop paying him to do this. But it's because black women find all of this, again, to be relatable. They find the dysfunction relatable. Relatable dysfunction. Remember that term I coined a long time ago? Relatable dysfunction. They find it relatable, and to some extent they find it aspirational as well. because it's Chris Brown. You know, he's a celebrity. Y'all are attracted to him. Yeah, and he's not a prize at all. Yeah, listen, I had to block so many people. I've been called every name in the book behind my last video. Y'all was under calling me bitter, insecure, ugly. And listen, you could call me all those things, but I'm still not you. I'm still not you. I'm still not defending woman beaters and colorist men who don't like me. That is peak loser behavior. You look more like a loser than I ever will on this YouTube platform. If you're out here caping for black men like Chris Brown, baby, you way worse off than me. You can call me everything. All I have ever done on this platform is try to stop dark-skinned women from supporting colorist men who don't like them. And any black woman who thinks my channel is more embarrassing than you supporting some of the most degenerate and colorist men in the black community and begging them to like you, you have no self-awareness. Because most of the world would think that you look stupid before they would think I look stupid. Only you bird brains think that this isn't embarrassing to black women in our image. Like, it's only you're anybody who thinks this is a badge of honor, like, it's only in the black community. You're by yourself on this. And you, to the outside world, to normal people, you look stupid. And you look like a loser and you look crazy. And listen, even if you don't agree that Chris Brown is a colorist, he's a well-known woman abuser. That alone should be enough for you not to cape for him. Like, there were women in my comment section like, well, he did that when he was 18. No, he was abusing Karuchi too. He was abusing her too. And even if it was, like, y'all just be, I mean, the lengths that y'all go to protect this man, it is just so weird to me. But, you know, apparently that's what many of y'all are used to in this community. So you actually think the shit is normal. You're used to the abuse. You're used to the dysfunction. So you think that it's normal. Kiara says people just get a little too fame struck over Chris Brown, and the fact that he doesn't even care about black women is really sick. Yeah, and the thing is, like, we could just blame it on him being a celebrity, but it's not just that, because think about how many regular schmegular black men in the black community black women defend, right? And they coddle and they protect. Anytime anything happens to one of them, anytime they get unalived by the cops or something like that happens to them, they're defending the most degenerate men in the community. The most abusive, the most dysfunctional, the most disgusting men. So, you know, I wish I could just blame it on black women being starstruck, but no. Black women, black people, we defend degeneracy no matter the tax bracket. And it's just disgusting. Like, why am I having to block people for saying this? This is, and then, you know, let a black woman choose a degenerate, abusive black man and get unalived by one, and we come on here and talk about it. Then they tell us we need to choose better. But when you're actually telling black women to choose better in the moment, y'all get mad about it. Y'all don't really want black women to choose better. You don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't be trying to silence the black women like me who are telling you to do just that. It's disgusting. And I saw some of the hit dogs hollering when I called out the pretty dark-skinned women who think that they're special snowflakes and they're exempt from colorism in my last video. But I said what I said. The truth hurts. And apparently it's hurting y'all real bad because you're crying about it. And, you know, let's talk about these chicks for a minute, because it's a few of y'all that keep responding to me about my colorism content. And y'all are not even dark-skinned. I feel like YouTube is the Twilight Zone. It just keeps getting weirder and weirder. Like, why are these brown-skinned women on YouTube trying to tell dark-skinned women how to advocate for ourselves? Why are Like, I mean, I had light skinned women under the video, brown skinned women. Yes, like most of the time they're not even dark. And I was like, why? And then let me tell you what's even weirder. There are brown skinned women, which we already knew that there are brown skinned women cosplaying as mixed women, but some of them are also cosplaying as dark skinned women too. And they're trying to like look like the special snowflake dark skinned woman, I guess, to impress black men, but they're not even dark skinned. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone, y'all, when I'm listening to people on this app. I just don't understand it. And something else I don't understand is how these women are so obsessed with me and so obsessed with reacting to my content, trying to get my attention for months and even years. And then they get mad when they're finally getting called out in my videos. You have been obsessed with me. You've been trying to get my attention, not the other way around. So let's not pretend that it's me obsessing over y'all. No, you've been obsessing over me. And I feel like it's only on YouTube where content creators can cyber stalk other content creators, make 50, 11 videos about them, and then when we respond, call us obsessed. No, y'all are obsessed with me. You keep begging for my attention, so now you're getting it. And now I have time. See, I'm in the content creation mood now. So now I'm going to clap back to some of what I've been seeing on this app. Now, I don't respond to everything, but I will clap back depending on my mood, right? It doesn't matter if you have 500 subscribers. It doesn't matter if you have 50,000 subscribers. I don't give a fuck about being the bigger channel, okay? I'm not Beyonce. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not going to always take the high road. No, I'm not always going to ignore. No, we don't do that over here, okay? But I will, however, use y'all dummy women as teaching lessons and examples to my audience. And yeah, I'm going to use you for money as well, since you're using me for money, right? And I'm going to incorporate and dismantle your weak ass arguments in my video. And yes, a lot of you dark-skinned women think you're special snowflakes, and you're not. You're not. I said what I said, and I'll say it again. You're not special. You're beautiful, but you're not special. And I don't know what I don't know what you want me to say about that. Like, it is what it is. And see, a part of me is glad that y'all are learning like this, because, it's one thing for me to get on here as an anonymous content creator and say, hey, pretty doesn't trump colorism. There are still colorist men. You need to stay away from them. It's quite another when you actually have beautiful dark-skinned women showing their face and repeating what I said. And see, when that happens, you can't refute the argument. You can't refute it. You can't call those women ugly. You can't call those women femcells, because you actually see them. You see that they're not ugly, right? You see that they're not femcells. You see that they do get attention. So that lets you know how weak your argument is. And it's not my fault that you lost the argument. It's not my fault that I was right and you were wrong. You need to deal with that and take your L. Yeah, I'm just going to start using these girls for content and using them as teaching examples for the women who follow me. And I'll do it gracefully with class. I'll do a classy clapback, okay? And the best part about it is none of you will gain any clout from my channel because I don't mention names. And all you're going to get are, you're going to be left with are your stagnant struggle channels from endlessly beefing with bigger creators that you're jealous of. Because you are jealous. You're jealous of me because I have more numbers than you. I have more views, but that's not my fault. Get your cookies up. Do the content so you can get more subscribers. Do the work like I had to do. But you stalking me, it's a win for me either way. So I'm going to start using your crash outs about me as teaching lessons in my videos. I'm going to subliminally weave them into my content. You wanted my attention, you got it. Yeah, I have time now. Yeah, pretty does not trump colorism. Like I said, pretty dark-skinned women are not special in the eyes of colorists. Colorism is not exclusive to ugly women. I know that hurts some of your feelings because, you want to believe that black men are not colorists, but they are. Most of them are. And many of you have found out the hard way. You found out after being humbled and discarded by the colorists that you thought saw you as special, and they didn't. And that's not my fault. It's not my fault they had you looking stupid. That's your fault for not believing what your other fellow dark-skinned women were telling you. It's not my fault that some of you content creators look stupid after trying to click up with my colorist ops, and go after me like the obsessive weirdos you are because you're jealous of the popularity on my channel. It's not my fault that they embarrassed you. It's not my fault that you got humbled by them. Okay? And look, clicking up with colorist online to cyber harass me, a so-called femcel, that's peak weird loser behavior. Especially as young women who claim they're so attractive. I mean, and that's something I don't understand. Like, some of these women, they're clearly not as fine and leveled up as they claim to be, because any young, beautiful, pretty black woman who's leveled up and with a high earning man and used to getting attention for their looks wouldn't be obsessed with a so-called ugly femcel and an old woman on YouTube. Like, that's peak weird behavior. They wouldn't be obsessed with my audience either. The bragging isn't adding up. And like I said before, when I was in my 20s, I wasn't worried about what older women were doing. I was out being cute and making money and dating men with money as well. And real money. Not $10 perfume money like some of you hoes. Okay? And I damn sure wasn't online obsessing over old women on YouTube. And so if you are a young woman beefing with older women on YouTube, that's loser behavior. Go be young and cute and find something better to do with your time. And look, the only reason I'm even addressing these women is because it's getting weird. It's getting weird. I usually do ignore them, but after so much fixation and obsession with me and my channel and talking about me like you know me personally when you don't know me, you've never met me, you've never seen me a day in your life. After all that, yeah, I'm going to say something, because constantly obsessing like that over a stranger is weird. And no, I'm not going to always ignore that. I'm not going to always ignore cyber stalkers, no matter how small their channels are. Because I notice, people will try to silence me and they'll bring up the size of my channel. But again, I don't know who you guys think I am. I'm not Beyonce. I'm not, going to go high when they go low like Michelle Obama. I'm not the first fucking lady, bitch. I'm a YouTuber. I'm going to call you out. I'm going to call you obsessed weirdos out because you deserve to be called out from time to time. Some of you are obsessed with me. You have been for years. So don't get in your feelings when I finally respond. If you can dish it, be able to take it. You leave me alone and I'll leave you alone. That's how this works. If you don't, I'm not going to leave you alone. I'm keeping my foot on your neck, and I'm going to keep using you for content. That's what I'm going to keep doing. You wanted my attention. You got it. I have time now. I have time right now. And I'm in a content making mood. So let's do this. Let's do it. Yeah, and they're going to continue to stalk me and, other black women with bigger channels because they need us to grow their struggle channels. But, we can use you right back for content. And don't be crying foul and get mad about it, because this is what you wanted, apparently. This is what you wanted. But you don't run anything over here. I'm still going to tell the truth about colorism and your precious black man. And there's nothing you can do about it. What you going to do about it? Nothing. Been on here for 10 years, 10 plus years. You think some new girl's gonna come along and bully me off? You think that's gonna happen? No. Nobody has ever successfully bullied me off in over 10 years. What makes you think you're different? You're not. Yeah. Oh, Life Sucks says they should be glad you don't address them more often, okay? If you made a concerted effort out of dragging them, they probably have to retire. Girl, let me tell you. And I'm being nice. And the big part of it is that I'm trying not to turn my channel into a beef channel, right? Because beefing is not a long-term sustainable growth strategy for YouTube, right? So I can't just be on here beefing all the time. So I got to do it in a very strategic way. I'm going to address you in videos subliminally, and I'm going to weave you into other topics. That's how I'm going to do it. And I do it that way because I'm smarter than you. I know how to actually grow a channel. But yeah, if I wanted to just wild out and beef, oh my God, it would be terrible. Because I'm telling you, I got these stupid little young girls doing cheap fragrance hauls for their audience, talking shit about me. Like, I just don't understand. It's like, I could really go ham, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But it's like, all the bragging isn't adding up. So it's like, okay, you're better than me. You're prettier than me. Okay, so why are you so focused on me? Oh, that's weird. It's weird. It's obsessive. It's weird. I don't know, girl. Those who know. But listen, like I'm saying, if you still posting $10 fragrances for your audience, you need to be worried about getting some money. You need to get your money up and stop worrying about me, please. What I say about dark-skinned women should not affect you this badly, especially if you're not even dark. Some of these women aren't even dark-skinned. Like, it's just crazy to me. And then that's another thing. Like, y'all were under the video talking about, oh, Kayla Nicole is not dark. I know she's not dark-skinned. That's why I made the distinction between brown and dark skin in my last video, y'all. My goodness. I know that. I know she's not dark, and you're not dark either. So why are you trying to police dark-skinned women on YouTube? I had to block one of these, psychotical content creators because she was under there talking shit, under my video talking shit. I'm like, girl, this space is not for you. Like, I had to block so many people. Y'all have no idea. And y'all, like, the mods, if you see some crazy stuff in the comments, don't hesitate to block. Yeah, listen, I know that Kayla, she's not light-skinned, but, from where I'm from, she would be considered brown-skinned, y'all. And I know that skin tone is subjective. We all, think different skin tones are different depending on, where we live. But in my neck of the woods, there's always been light brown and dark. There's always been like a middle ground. And I think for some people, like wherever you're from, like sometimes brown skin doesn't exist. It's just light or dark. But where I'm from, like, we used to really break it down. Like light brown skin, dark brown skin, brown skin. Like there's always been several categories where I'm from. So, yeah, I know. Some people would consider Kayla to be dark. Where I'm from, she would be considered brown, maybe dark brown skin, depending on the photo. Yeah. Yeah, she's not light skin either. And that's why I said, like, here's the thing. The reason why I did the video is because, girl, she's still too dark for Chris Brown. Like, you still don't see people up there or women up there who are her complexion either. So she's still too dark for him. If you're darker than the paper bag, you usually don't get up there. And the reason why Kayla and Summer Walker got on stage is because they're celebrities. Summer's a celebrity, Kayla's an influencer. That's why they made it on stage. And so if y'all don't see the pandering at this point, you don't want to see it. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to say. I did my part. I did what I could. I did what I could, okay? I did what I could. And I'm tired of this topic, so we gonna move on to something else. I got some other topics lined up for next week. I'll probably come out with a video for members and patrons before I do any more public content. But yeah, I got some more topics on the list. But I wanted you guys to hear these clips so you could hear the mentality of a lot of Black women and why we need to change our mindset, y'all. So I hope you learned something from this live stream. Again, I'm in a video making mood right now. So a lot of y'all who keep coming up here getting triggered, I guess you're gonna stay triggered, okay? Because I got a lot of content planned. I'm in the mood. So I don't know, if you keep signing up to be triggered, if you keep coming over here just to listen to me and get in your feelings, that's a you problem at this point. That's a you problem, because I'm still gonna do me. I'm still gonna say what I have to say. You know, it's up to you to stop watching and obsessing over me. Like, at this point, it's not my fault if you listen to me and get triggered. That's your fault. It's been years now. Why do y'all keep stressing yourself out listening to me? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Because, I mean, look, I don't know if it's my Aries moon. I don't know if it's my Cancer Mars. I don't know, but I'm going to say what the fuck I want to say. Okay? And then you're just going to be mad about it. And the more you stalk me, the more I'm going to keep my foot on your neck. And I'm going to keep using you for content, okay? We have a deal? Yeah, we have a deal. Deal. But anyway, that's all I have on this for now, y'all. Thank you for joining me. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments if you're watching the replay. And stay tuned for more content. Love you guys. Bye.